Hello everyone, I am Praneeth and welcome back to the channel. Today, let's explore about Identity Access Management, in short IAM, in AWS. So I have logged into my AWS account. From the search, type IAM. It will populate as the first result. Click on it. So before exploring the options of access management, let's see the highlights of the IAM. The highlights of the IAM are control access, granular permissions, identity federation, multi-factor authentication, roles, audit and compliance, integration with AWS services, policy management. So these are the highlights, and these will be covered as part of our demo sessions from these access management things. So first, let's go to the users. So here the user may assume this AWS is an organization and a new employee is coming in. So this AWS acts as an employer and the resources or the persons who are in the organization are considered as employee. So the employee should need few access and things to set up his workspace, other things, and he needs some user ID. So in AWS, the users or employee things can be set up here under the users. So let's create a new user. We'll name him as sysadmin, and let's sysadmin one. Let's provide the console access. I'm attaching the policies directly in the upcoming session. So we'll see what is the use of user group. I'm clicking on attach policies directive. And since we are creating a system admin, let's add the EC2 full access role for him. And clicking on next. And clicking on create user. So we have the credentials here. Here is the sign-in URL, the username and the password. So we can download the file as well. And I'm gonna copy these URL ID and the password. I'm gonna access this URL in the private window. Since he's an AM user, his account ID will be auto-populated here. We need to access to this account with the AM username and the password. Let's sign in. So earlier we have seen this specific user, sysadmin one, he has only access to the EC2, the full access. Like he can handle the life cycle of EC2, like from creation to the terminal of the instances. The user has access. Only for EC2, he can't perform any other operation. He can't use any other resource. So that's what the control access means from the highlights of the IAM. So it allows us to control who can access your AWS resources. The resources may be EC2, S3 buckets, database, whatsoever. The offerings offered by the AWS. So since now we have given, so let's switch back to the US East one of Virginia, the region. Now let's try to launch an instance. Sys admin instance. I'm going with the defaults. Clicking on launch instance. Yeah, we could see that instance has been created successfully. So we have only given permission for sysadmin for only creating EC2 resources. So if we now go to the S3 and if we try to create a new S3 bucket, it will show us an error, throw us an error. Let's check that scenario. It will create bucket. Just I'm going with all defaults. I'm clicking on the create bucket. Now we could see that we have been bombarded with the error like failed to create bucket because this IAM user, this admin one IAM user, he doesn't have access to create a bucket because his policy has, I mean, he has only the policy with EC2 full access, but not with S3. That's why the user can't create the S3 bucket or S3 resources. This is what the control access mean from the highlights. So now let's go to the IAM. So now let's try to create one more user to check whether these things have been applicable. I'm creating a new user called developer one. I'm also providing the console access. Here in this, now let's attach the policies directly. I'll go with the EC2 policy, EC2 full access, as well as S3 full access. I'll create the user. The URL would be the same. So username and the password would differ. Copy to the tool and copy this URL. I'll open one more private window. I will use this developer one credentials. Again, user patch. So this user has two things. One, the developer is able to create an EC2 instance as well as he has access to create the S3 bucket as well. Now, yeah, let's create an EC2 instance and as well as one S3 bucket on launch instance. Launch instance. So now we are able to successfully create an instance with the developer one. So now let's create, navigate to the S3 bucket. Let's create one S3 resource as well as 3 bucket. I'm going with the defaults and click on create bucket. So now, since this developer one IAM user has access for, he has a policy attached to the user with S3 full access. That's where the user will be able to create the S3 bucket as well. This is how when the control access means we can restrict or we can provide the access for the specific users based on his role or in the organization. So we can control what resources you access and what things to perform. So now let's go back to the IAM. And yeah, to one of the highlights of the IAM, so multi-factor authentication. So for setting a multi-factor authentication for any of the users, so we can click on the user, and if you go to the security credentials, here we have a multi-factor authentication option. So we need to assign some MFA device. So we can name the device, and we have currently three set of options based on the requirement. So we can provide these MFA settings, and we can click on next, and from the next login, the user should go with the MFA additional login step post the login, post the username and password thing. So this is how we can set up the MFA. Now let's go to the user groups. Before creating a user group, let's learn the scenario, like how it helps us and when does it come to the picture. So if we see our users, we have for under sysadmin, we have one user, developer one for a developer guy, and sysadmin currently only one user in the organization. If there are more positions for developers and sysadmins, and there would be a hectic, like we need to create the user and we need to attach the policies each and every time when a new developer or sysadmin team joins in the organization. Again, sometimes it becomes hard because for every new time a new user joins, we need to attach the policies and we need to maintain them. And it causes like few people, like which we have seen as part of control access, depends upon the user role in the organization. They would have some specific resource access and some not. So that's why what we need to do is, so we need to restrict, or for like the people who comes under the same tree or same umbrella, they can have the same access. Instead of attaching policies directly to the users, we can have the policies attached to the user groups, and the user, when a new user is being created, if he falls under the same tree like a developer or sysadmin, he can be attached to that group. Then automatically the policies uh, holding by the particular user group will be applied to the user automatically. Again, this is important one, guys. It is wide industry practice, and it's an approved practice that it is, and it is also best practice that the attaching the when attaching users to the user groups is a best practice. And moreover, the policies should not be attached directly to the users. Instead of, we can attach it to the user groups, and doing this is a best industry practice, and it is recommended as a best security practice as well, because we can have this scenario as well. We have two teams, developer and operations. If a developer is transitioning to the operations team, if he is moving, assume that the developer has policies directly attached to him instead of he having or appointed with the user groups. What happens is, again, it adds some overhead to the person who is managing this item. Like he needs to remove the access of that particular user, and again, you should provide like the operations related policies to him. If instead he is an user group, it is very easy. Like he'll be untagged with untagged from the group of developers, and he'll be tagged to the operations team. Thus, user groups also plays an crucial role handling the policies, the things. That's why it is wide approved practice and best practice in the industry that the policies should be attached to the user groups instead of attaching to the users directly. So let's create a group here and let's have the sysadmin group. So now let's for the sysadmin group, so we'll add the sysadmin user to this group. And the policies, let's provide easy to full access. Now let's provide S3 as well, S3 full access as well to the system admin user group. So create user group, the group will be creating. Now if we go to the users under sysadmin, so now here we could see the policy has been added like S3 full access to the sys group for the sysadmin, I mean sysadmin one user because he was part of the sysadmin group. So that's why the policies help us easily transition of the resource or managing the life cycle of resources. It would be very easy, like attaching the policies to the user groups instead of the user to the user directly. And let's create another group. Now let's say developer. And earlier we have easy to full access for the developer, right? So sorry. Yeah. Let's click on developer. Earlier we have easy to full access for the developer. Let's make it only read only. Create user group. Now I'm going to the users and in the developer. Yeah. So the two policies are directly attached, S3 and EC2 flags. We're gonna remove them and attach only the group from. Now let's see. He can only create. He should now from now he should be able to read only the EC2 resources, but not creating anyone. So let's. Okay, this is sysadmin one. Let's go to developer ones. Now let's go to the EC2. So since the developer has read-only access, he can see what are all instances available. If you're gonna launch some instance, let's go with the complete defaults. I'm proceeding without a keyword. So we have encountered the error because you are not authorized to perform this operation because this developer one user doesn't have access to create the instances and he has access only for reading the EC2 instances. That's it. Now if you go to the S3, I think S3 she couldn't able to see anything because S3 we have removed the S3 access. Think let's see the buckets if possible. See he can't at least view the buckets because he doesn't have any S3 related access attached to the user or the group. So this is much about the user groups. I hope it is clear. If any doubts on the users and user groups, feel free to comment in the comment section. I'll I'll reply on it. Now let's go to the roles. So roles are simple and it is much more crucial. It will be help in situations as well. Let's see here, like it's a simple definition. An IAM role is an identity you can create that has specific permissions with credentials that are valid for short durations. roles can be assumed by entities that you trust. Like for example, so if we have created an user, I mean earlier we have created a user and we have attached few policies. The user can log in through CLI using the access key and secret access key. So if they wanna do few things, I mean there the credentials are involved in it. Like if we take an user, we need to if he's interacting with the resources using the CLI, here his or her the user credentials are involved, and those credentials are permanent. I mean, if they have some refresh policies, they'll refresh, or most of the time, that is, I mean, it's when credentials are being involved for longer durations. So to avoid those scenarios, so AWS has launched the roles feature. This feature, when, for example, I have created one IAM SSM role. So this has only the policy, like SSM, Amazon SSM managed instance code. What it does is SSM, nothing but so we have a session manager. So for example, I'll go to the EC2 and I'll show you what this role means. So currently we have, she should have one and two instances. Yeah. Now if I click on connect, so we could see that SSM agent is not online and the SSM, I mean, a bit short, it says that SSM is not available right now. So now if you see here, like in its settings or so, yeah, it should be in the details, like IAM role. So here we have some few roles. Now we have some, yeah, let's go to the instance. IAM role is empty. If we have this particular IAM SSM role, we can access the instance terminal using the session manager. Since the IAM role is absent here, we can't connect to the instance using the session manager. So roles help in that way to provide few access uh, on behalf, like it is not the user, but acts like a user, and it has some shorter duration length credentials and provide the access when required or when it is invoked. That's for the roles used for. And the next thing, the highlights of the IAM are one is the granular permission and the policies management. So granular permission, what is the granular permission means? So let's create one and we'll go with the example. For example, let's create a new policy. These policies are, once we have two types again. The AWS has the policies, AWS managed ones. We can create the user managed policies as well. So like the custom ones, what we need to do. Like for example, earlier we have seen that we see to full access. Like using the full access, I mean the policy which is been either it is attached as a role or to the user, then the role or user can perform anything in the EC2. But we want to restrict few things like for system admin, like developers can able to create the instance, but they do not have the access to terminate the instance. We can manage those things as well. So policies are like a sort of restrictions that are applied to either the roles or user groups or users. It's a set of instructions that are in place. So it is handled in the JSON formats. Let's create the policy. We have interactive UI as well. This is the interactive UI. It's a visual one and JSON. If you have got with the things, we can code the JSON or we can interact visually with the UI and we can select. So let's set the EC2 part. Now, yeah, I want to filter. I mean, I need not to give all the actions. I'm thinking to have only launch instance and a stop instances. So run instance and I need to stop. the instance, but not terminate for the developer. So click on next. The policy name will be developer policy, create policy, and create another policy. Uh, and here also for the EC2 for sysadmin, we'll have the add the option for terminating instance as well. System admin can run the instances. Describe, let's add describe as well. Describe, describe instances. Stop and terminate. Um, for all. Clicking on next. Machine name is policy. Create policy. For developer policy as well, let's add the describe instance. I'm filtering with customer managed. Developer, edit, go the usual. Describe instance. Yeah, next. Save changes. So now we have added this. So now let's go to the user groups. For the developer, we'll add this permission. Let's remove this permission and add our custom ones. Developer policy. Same we'll do for the sysadmin. We'll remove all the policies. Which policy? Yeah, customer managed. Sysadmin policy. Attach policies. Now let's go to the users and remove if any policies are directly attached to the user. So we need to remove this. Developer. Yeah, yes, okay. So as per the developer policy, let's go to the developer and I'm going to EC2 terminating the instance. Terminate. See, if we want to terminate, we are getting this. You are not authorized to perform this operation. If you click on it, it won't allow us because the developer doesn't have the access for the initiating the terminate operation. Now let's go to the sysadmin user. Let's navigate to the EC2 part. Since it's again to matter developer, I think we need to sign up. Sign to the console. Now let's log in with the developer, I mean sysadmin credentials. EC2. If I click on developer and actions, instance state, terminate instance, terminate. So successfully initiate termination because this sysadmin, I mean, we have attached a custom policy that sysadmin can terminate an instance. So the instance is successfully terminated, and we could see it is shutting down and getting terminated. So this is how the granular permissions would work. Like we can have created definite policy. We can create a definite policy to we can be very picky like so the even though he's system admin or a developer, so he should have this access instead of the full access, which are AWS out of the box product policies. So we can make it very granular and it may be more the role based specific. We can restrict or bring down or we can dilute the existing policies by managing like we're creating a new policies or custom policies. We can dilute those and we can attach and thus we can have more control over each role based access like developer have even though as a developer he might should not delete the EC2 instances instead of providing the EC2 full access we can create some custom role and attach to it. There's the granular permission should work and same with the policy management. So the policies will manage organization. These policies can be attached to the users, groups, or the roles. The two things are there. One is identity federation. So in the identity providers, so this acts as identity federation, like using this AWS IAM identity center. If we have few other AWS accounts and if you want a centralized version of IAM, like either maintaining some um, SAML 2.2 authentication logins or Active Directory and other things like Microsoft Azure, Active Directory, Google Workspace, etc. So we can add the provider and centralizedly we can manage the IAM related stuff. So this is for the identity federation part. The other is the audit and compliance. So for this, we have the cloud trail, which takes the things like cloud trail. We can use the cloud trail to log the activity of the IAM, and it will give us a few insights about it. So now go to the cloud trail to explain this. Cloud Trail. I'm opening it in a new tab. Let's create a file. The file name will be mm, trials. Creating a trial. So the trial. Okay. So let's see what it has been created. So management events, we have all activity and data and insights. Yeah. This would be sufficient, like to get what are all activities done by the IAM. So if we go to the cloud trial and click on the dashboard. So currently we don't have if you see here, so we have a few events created like we have done the terminate instance, attach user policy. So we have performed few activities in the IAM. So these can be tracked using the cloud trial since we have login or I mean uh, like logging also enabled. So if we navigate to the S3, we would have a dedicated bucket for it. We have a new bucket like AWS CloudTrail logs. From here also, we could see what it is showing. CloudTrail. Currently, we do not have any objects. Let's go to the IAM and the user groups. Gonna delete this. First, I'll go delete the user developer one, and I'll delete the user group uh, developer as well. It should be locked in the S3 bucket. These two activities. Let's go back. Let's go back a bit. Try to let's give it a couple of seconds to load. So in the meantime, what we can do is we can perform a few more activities here, like for the use sysadmin, we can uh, add few more permissions, attach policies, give some administrator access, attach policies. So these activities also will be recorded in the S3. It takes time. Yeah, in the meantime, we can also see from the dashboard, CloudTrail dashboard, which refresh the page. See, we have created a trail and we have few things. So it is logging, started logging. Is the event history. So I think in S3 bucket also, if we refresh the bucket, we should see some logs populated in the S3. That's still taking time, I believe. But yeah, in the event history, so we could see in the event history, we could see that we have deleted the user. If you want more info on it, uh, we can click on it like we can see what user is being deleted. See, this resource is being deleted. And if you go to the event history, yeah, it says that we have removed the user from the user group and detach group policy, delete group, attach policy. We have done these activities. So everything is logged in CloudTrail. So this CloudTrail act will act as an audit and compliance tool for the IOM. So these can be the logs would be in the CloudTrail, and we can create some alerts on it if you want as well. So these logs would be storing in AWS S3 bucket. So let's hope now it loads few logs. Trail of still stores here. What's taking time? So in the cloud history, I could see that we have used from data. Mm, it started recording. Okay. I'm gonna see if yeah, any trains. Let's go to the cloud train overseas when yeah. Now we could see. So if we have gone here, so we could see the cloud train, the region, and the year, the month, and the date. From here now we could see the a few things like based on the time frame what has been done. So it's like this time frame. Let's go here and we can see what it has been done. So to understand like a little bit, so I'm opening within a new tab. So in the logs we could see. I mean it's a list of activities under 2020. So it provides a list of activities what has been done here. So now here let's check any user or group something. See, yeah. Now if we see here, we have done few activities like in the developer one. I mean for listing the MFA devices, we'll have each and every log. Let's see, uh, developer. Oh, it has only one log with the developer one. Anything with the delete. No. Let's go to the another log file. Let's check there. Does it provide any insights? Let's print it. So here we would have a few things. Uh, let's type sys admin. So this is that we could see 14 searches. So from this we could see that. So we have called a group and we have attached some group policies to it. And yeah, we have listed few group policies. So it will log the each and every activity performed in the IAM. So we could see few things happen. Yeah. If we search for the developer one, so we have the keys, accessing and delete login profile. We have deleted a thing. So the things which the activity which is done by the specific user role in everything related in the IAM section, we could see the logs would be saving into the S3 bucket as we are maintaining an logging to it. So yeah, this is it, guys. The overview of IAM, and the access management options which it has, and the things. So I hope you would have liked the video. If you have any questions regarding this IAM topic, feel free to drop a comment, and I'll definitely reply in the comment section. And if you like the video, do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. See you again in the next video.